All right, so let me tell you about this thing called ownership, which is a mindset that really affects our ability to be part of a high-performance team. The way I introduce it is with this little story about keys. So I wake up in the morning, I can't find my keys. Where are my keys? Where are my keys? Can't find my keys. For those of us who are married, what's the first thing that we do? Honey, where are my keys? Let's assume my wife actually hid my keys from me. To solve this problem, I have to change my wife. How likely is it I change my wife? Big fat zero. Almost impossible. So when the problem is out there and it's somebody else's fault, we call this blame. Okay? So when you're in blame, you're not in a good place to solve a problem. The next step is, yeah, my wife didn't hide my keys, but the streets were so dirty yesterday. It's so dusty, and when I came in, I didn't want to dirty the carpet. So while I was focusing on not dirtying the carpet, I put my keys in the wrong place. Still, the problem's out there. It's not my wife's fault anymore, it's Cairo's fault. It's the dirty streets of Cairo. So to solve the problem, what do I have to do? I have to clean up the streets of Cairo, which is about as likely as my ability to change my wife. Both extremely hard. And we call this state justification. Justification and blame are very similar. You blame one or two people, you justify by blaming the environment or the country or God or whatever you will. Not my fault. Problem's out there. The next step in this mental model is, all right, I realize my wife didn't hide my keys. I realize, the streets of Cairo are the streets of Cairo. It's my fault. I'm an idiot. How stupid am I that I can't remember to put my keys in the very same place every day? And we call this mindset shame. Now, when you're in shame, well, at least you're pointing to yourself. This is now my fault. But you don't feel very good. You're in pain, you're ashamed, you're embarrassed, and for some of us, this pain is so much that we quit. And it differs from person to person. But again, we're not talking about whether these are ethically good or bad states of mind to be in. We're talking about, are these effective states of mind to be in? And the fact is they're not. Blame, shame, and justification just aren't very effective places. Now, that's where the story of the keys ends, but there's one more state I want to tell you about. And this state is, unfortunately, the state of most people around the world in business. And this state is called obligation. Obligation is when you have to do something. When you're doing something and you don't think it's the best thing to do, you're not quite convinced that you want to do it, but you're just doing it. And when we're in obligation, we do the minimum to call it done. We don't do a very good job. It's done. I've dotted my I's, crossed my T's, and that's it. And if we're talking about high performance, if we're talking about creating great stuff, people in obligation are meh. You go to corporate culture, almost everybody's in obligation. There for a job, they can't wait to get home. They do stuff because they have to, and it's not going to put you in a state where you can most effectively solve the problem. So we've got these states: blame, justification, shame, and obligation. Draw a line. These are all not very effective states of mind. Then there's this thing above that we're going to call ownership or responsibility. And ownership and responsibility is a completely different thing. In ownership, sure, I had something to do with this, but that's okay. We all make mistakes. Let's focus on the problem and solve it. We make mistakes, that's okay. I'm not blaming somebody else. I'm not ashamed that I made a mistake. I'm not doing something because I have to. I'm a choice. Actually, I'm solving this problem. I want to solve this problem. I'm going to solve it this way, and I'm going to do my best to do so. And when we're in this mindset, it doesn't guarantee that we're going to solve the problem, but it puts us in the best place mentally to be able to solve the problem. So that's ownership, and that's why it's really, really important. If you find yourself in blame, shame, justification, or obligation, you're not going to get there. And it's going to be painful. It's not going to be fun. You're going to burn out, possibly. But when you're in ownership, you're there. It's my problem. Let's figure out how to solve it. And when I'm part of the team, this is our problem. Let's figure out how to solve it together. So that's really what I wanted to share about ownership. We have more videos coming up on other mindsets, other mental models that really affect our ability to be members of and contribute to a very effective high-performance team.